What makes Monster Hunter so great? I don't know where to really begin, but I suppose I could talk about the gameplay. The way the world is presented to you as you play missions, as you slay monsters, gather herbs, ores, bugs, and you just explore each and every map with every mission that you take. Maybe it's because we as players have spent so much time with the game that it just means so much to us. Back in 2004, when the first game came out on the PlayStation 2, we have been fighting monsters, slaying them, gathering materials, crafting weapons and armors for 13 years. And I can say that I'm proud to be part of it ever since I first picked up Monster Hunter 2 for the PSP in 2007. Back then I was only about 11 years old, pretty young kid just discovering his passion for video games. And up until that time I mostly played games on the PlayStation 2. Around that time my cousin had gotten the PSP, and with it he got Monster Hunter Freedom 2. He was kind enough to let me play, and let me tell you, when that intro played I was mesmerized by the cinematic. We see a hunter step out of his house, almost having snow fall on him, and then we get to see a full shot of the main village. As we follow the hunter, as he walks through the village, we get to see each and every one of the NPCs that we would eventually interact with. He talks to the village chief and leaves for the mountains for his quest, while his fellow hunters wave him goodbye. Then the music suddenly picks up and we get this shot of a hunter running through a cave while he's carrying a big piece of ore. The intensity of the scene had my mind as a kid completely enthralled. I just could not look away, and when out of nowhere a Tigrex bursts through the cavern wall and begins to give chase to our hunter, and like anyone with the sane mind he begins to run away as he desperately tries to hold the Tigrex back by throwing a flash bomb. The hunter keeps running until he jumps out of the cave from the opening that was covered in snow. He slides down the side of the mountain until he reaches the bottom. He reaches for his longsword as we hear a roar from the Tigrex. Then we get a shot of his fellow hunters having found him, ready to give him his help. They gather together as the iconic music begins to ramp up and the Tigrex lands in front of our band of hunters. They trade blows and the Tigrex slashes down with his claws, and then we get the logo, Monster Hunter Freedom 2. The intro had me excited to continue playing the game, and I did, as I sunk hundreds of hours into fighting Kudkuds and gathering materials to make so many different weapons and armors. As a kid, it was an experience unlike any other that I had ever felt before. When I went out to hunt my first Tigrex and left victorious after a long fight with a couple of deaths, it felt amazing, of which I celebrated by hunting the Tigrex down a few hundred times to get his armor. And it was just as much fun as the first time I fought him. The feeling I got when my friends and I went on hunts together for the first time was something that made me fall in love with the game even more. We hunted so many Rathalos and Diablos together, building bonds while playing this game and sharing this experience. Maybe the sense of community that I got from the game was what really made this game so great. Maybe it's the hunt and the fact that the game is not something that you can casually take on by just playing a couple of hours. It takes hundreds of hours of hunting and getting better armor, failing and trying again and again, until you finally are able to beat that monster you've been hunting all week. Or maybe I'm just looking at it from rose-tinted glasses and nostalgia is blinding me from being objective. But regardless of my personal feeling towards Monster Hunter, with every game the community has grown and more people got to play together and hunt together for hours on end as they grind for the best armors and weapons that they can get. Working together to hunt down every single monster in the game, from a small Vespoid to the Elder Dragons. This is something that we do all together as hunters, and that's the true beauty of the game. Even if the games have had their flaws, we still play them together as a community that loves these games. The games themselves let you do this by giving you so many options on how you would like to tackle each mission. With 14 different weapons, it's hard not to find one that will suit your playstyle. And while I won't go into details in each weapon, as that's not really the main point of this video, I do want to say that each one of them feels completely different from each other, giving the game a great deal of customization. Not two hunting parties look the same, and I think that is great. The world of Monster Hunter gives its players a vast world to explore and delve into and sink hundreds of hours as you play with friends or alone, and however you choose to tackle the challenges given to you by the game, as I have no doubt that you will find something that you love. Soon, we will be getting a whole new game in 2018, coming in the form of Monster Hunter World, and I look to the future and hope that many more people will get to experience this amazing game, and with it coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the computer, a bigger audience will finally get a chance to play a Monster Hunter game, and I really hope that it will be a good one. From the gameplay that we got to see at E3 and the recent live streams, this upcoming title is without a doubt a Monster Hunter game that I will be getting myself, and I think that Monster Hunter World is definitely a game to keep an eye on. I will leave links down below for the live stream of the gameplay for Monster Hunter 4, so let me know in the comments, what do you think of the upcoming game? Are you excited for it? If not, let me know why. I would love to have a discussion about it. Anyway guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have an amazing day.